Hi, Steve here again. Today we're going to take a look back to a time on the Mike Douglas Show when Moe Howard of the Three Stooges appeared. I believe this was in 1973. And one of the guests was Ted Knight, who was appearing on the Mary Tyler Moore Show at the time. So let's take a look at what happened that day.
The sound era of film, no one topped the Three Stooges for longevity and productivity. From 1934 to 1958, they starred in 196 comedies, wow. And today their films are capturing a whole new generation of fans. And my next guest is one of the original Three Stooges. Mm-hmm. Here is Moe Howard.
Yeah.
Welcome.
One of the things I noticed in this video is Mike's standing on a riser there, sort of a platform for the stage. But even still, Moe Howard is not a tall man. I think I read somewhere he was like 5'4" or something like that.
I got my brother and my wife's name, they can't take it.
That hair is fantastic. Everybody remembers you with the hair. That's all I can remember is the hair came right here and went around like a... How did that happen? Everybody thought it was a comb. You still do it?
Where is it? Yes.
There you go. Oh, that's... no. Show you I'm a fan. Hey, all I can do.
And you'll notice Ted Knight is really cracking up because I got a feeling he was a big fan of the Stooges. He just seems so delighted to be there.
Think of as those crazy things which kids see you do.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever get letters from mothers, irate mothers, saying, "How dare you do
never,
that?"
Never irate mothers. Confused parent-teachers associations. They are isolated cases. And this child psychologist, where they took the shows off in Cleveland on account of it.
Yeah.
They got this child psychologist and asked her, could anything that the Stooges do in their films hurt a child and cause them to do things that normally they wouldn't? She says, no, I'm a lover of the Stooges myself. But if a family has a problem child, then it doesn't make any difference that you'll watch a Western where they're killing people, they're liable to grab a gun and kill somebody.
So it's kind of funny to think back, all the way back in the early 70s, things were starting to get politically correct already. I mean, people were complaining about the violence in the Three Stooges shorts. It's kind of crazy.
But a normal child never gets anything difficult out of the Stooges comedies.
Well, my kids, yeah, very good, you're right, and they love it. They love it. Is it your kids?
My kids do the same things that I did when I fell in love with the Three Stooges.
Oh,
they go on doing the imitations. They imitate everybody.
Highly educational.
Yeah, but they love it. Yes, it is.
Now, you're I said one of the originals. Now, Curly passed away, didn't he?
Shall I give you the chain of command?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
You guys used to be with Ted Healy, right?
Yes, I was the first one with Ted. Ted was a boyhood friend of mine. So he went in one branch of show business, and I went in another.
Yeah, those guys started way back, and I think at the time of his appearance here, I think Moe was about 73.
I was the first one with Ted. He asked me to come. I met at the Prospect Theater in Brooklyn. I happened to go back to say hello to him. He was with his
Wait a minute,
wife.
Brooklyn got a little murmur outside.
Okay, it's coming back. Go ahead.
The Prospect Theater in Brooklyn. And then I was going in the stage door, and he was coming out and said, Moe, just the guy I want to see. My acrobat left me. He was doing the toe-to-toe catch, you know. So he says, my acrobat left me. Can you help me out till I get a new one? You can still do the back flip, can't you? I said, back flip where? We used to do it on the sand on the beach. I said, but under the stage there's concrete. If I make a fall, the Valvolia disappears.
I think you just lost your uvula.
So he says, help me out for a week. Well, the week lasted 11 years.
Well, when did all that start, that slapping?
Well, Healy started that. He smacked the hell out of us to begin with. And I was smart. I took Healy's place later on.
But how did...
That's right.
When did the other two guys come into the act? Curly and
Well, let me tell you.
And
I
Larry?
was with Ted first.
Yeah.
Then my older brother Shemp.
Oh, yeah.
In 1923, we were on the stage and I heard somebody laugh. And I said, Ted, Shemp's out there. So he walks to the footlights and says, I'd like to have a young man from Brooklyn preferred to come up here.
Yeah, that reminds me, Shemp was one of the original Three Stooges before Curly. And I was at a trivia contest one time, and the question was asked, who were the original Three Stooges? And, of course, they said Moe, Curly, and Larry. And I said, they said my answer was wrong because I said Shemp and Larry. And they insisted I was wrong. But that's how it works out sometimes. You can't win them all.
Up comes Shemp with a pair of rubbers in his pocket, because no matter any city he went to, had a pair of rubbers stashed away in a check room in case it rained when he was there. Now he comes up on the stage eating a pear with a rubber thing, and he asked Ted if he wanted a bite. Ted says, no, I don't want no bite. And finally the pear wound up in one of their faces. It became Ted, Moe, and Shemp. In 1925, we were off a couple of days from Schubert's show A Night in Spain.
Look at me nodding like I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Schubert saw it. I'm
That
following
was
you.
1927.
Oh,
Okay. Now we're at the Marigold Gardens watching the show, and here comes this little fella in tails and a high hat and a violin. He starts playing the violin like this. Not good, but no, and doing a Russian dance at the same time, playing the violin. So Healy looked at me and said, well, are you thinking what I'm thinking? I said, yeah, let's talk to him. We watched the rest of the show. We went back in the dressing room. He had a robe on. He had wet his hair. And while we're talking to him, his hair started to crawl up in knots like, It was drying out, see?
He didn't have his finger in a socket or anything.
No. So Healy looked at him and said, hey, you're single out there, not too hot. You want to join with the other two boys and become three? He says, I'd love it. He says, I'll give you $90 a week and $10 more to throw that fiddle away.
Now listen, $90 a week. That was a lot of money back then.
And he threw it away, and it became three in 1925 with Ted. Now he went all the way down the line with Ted, Shemp, and Larry, Shemp, and I. In 1932, Shemp got the opportunity to play the character Nobby in the Joe Palooka pictures on the coast.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't want to go. He said, what are you going to do for another guy? I said, Shemp, go. It's a great opportunity for you. We'll get the kid brother Curly. Curly was my younger brother. Oh. And he was with Orville Knappen Band. He was a guest conductor, like this.
Yeah.
And the faster he went, the more the suit fell apart. He wound up in long underwear with a flap in the back, with a big lock, in the thing.
With a lock on
with a
the
big
flap.
thing on the rumble seat there. So then it became...
He played only the better rooms with that act.
Oh, sure. We played one in Chicago called the Black and White Society. Yeah, they wear black dress shirts and white tails. Marvelous. We got booked in there, Ted and we guys. We got booked into this beautiful hotel, and we're wandering around, and the booking woman comes over and says, please, you're not to mingle with the guests. Uh-oh. 5 minutes later, one of the guests vomited all over Larry's suit. Now, we got up to do the act. The piano player's playing.
My good old hometown, Chicago.
Yeah. The piano player's playing, and Healy's, we start to do with the jokes, and all of a sudden, French rolls start coming up.
They were throwing things at you.
Hit the piano player twice, and Healy says, hold out for roast beef. See? So to keep going with the thing, it became Curly, I, and Larry from 1932 to 1946.
And you did all those pictures, though?
Yes.
Was I right, 196, or were there more?
There were 200.
200?
Yes. And then Curly, in 1946, had a stroke. Right in the middle of at the tail end of a picture. Incidentally, a picture that my wife wrote called Hoi Polloi in Society. See? Poor fella, and then he lingered and lingered. We tried to build his morale up and put him in the picture with us and so on. Didn't work. Shemp returned in 1946 and became Shemp, Larry, and Moe again. Curly passed away in 1952, and Shemp passed away in 1955.
Then you got another.
Yes, actually, Shemp died pretty young. I think he was about 60 or 61, as I recall.
Curly.
Yes.
Later
Now, you
on.
see, this was awfully troublesome to me because I had to break these guys in, you know. That.
Yeah.
So now we can't get the fellow we have now. There's Joe DeRita, which we had recently.
Yeah, the little chubby
From
guy.
Burlesque, you know.
Sure.
He was signed up with Minsky. We couldn't get him. So we got Joe Besser.
Oh, yeah. the
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. Not so hard.
The
Yeah.
little guy does it.
Yeah, Joe Besser was the worst of the substitute Stooges. I think the head of the Columbia studio then, Harry Cohn, he wanted him in that spot because he had him under contract and they wanted to be able to use him to get his money out of him, I guess was the idea. But he was a terrible stooge.
So he finished the 2 years. We had a 24-year contract at Columbia. He finished the 2 years.
24 years.
Straight, no options. Until unconscious.
24 years.
Yes. So Joe Besser finished the 2. Then we got Joe DeRita out of his contract, and he joined with us in 1958. In 59, we made a feature called Have Rocket Will Travel. Uh-huh. Then...
There's a lady who saw
Then
it
we
twice.
made, now we didn't get anything. We didn't get anything for the old comedies, because that we signed the contract before there was TV.
Yeah. Excuse
Anyhow,
me, Mo.
yeah,
I
go
want you to tell about that clause, but before you do, we have to
Yeah.
pause, and then you're going to show a little film that
Oh, yes.
Mo brought along for you to see. We'll be right back. Right.
Now, they never really got to the heart of the matter that the Stooges were so grossly underpaid. I mean, it was almost criminal. I think they made like $3,000 a week, and Mo split it up between them, and it wasn't good as far as the money goes. But things are different now. Fortunately, Mo did make out a little bit better later on when they did the movies, and also they had like a cartoon series that they did where they did some live spots in it. So he did okay, but they didn't make the money that stars make today. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.